What's up, YouTube? Andy with Andy's Dizzy Vlogs. It's a Thursday evening, early evening, and I guess I'm just continuing on with my what do you call it, routine or whatever of uploading on every other Thursday when I have school, just as a good benchmarker to look back on. So since my last video on Monday, I had I didn't have an appointment. I emailed my doctor, and he emailed back. I basically asked, I told him, like, I am experiencing this numbing, tingly sensation all over my body, and it's really frustrating and annoying, on top of still having phantom sensations, lightheadedness. I just came from Walmart, so I was in school, and I got some frustrating news today about work. So I was in a pretty bad mood, and extremely tired, and I had made up my mind that, before I got this bad news, I was in a really good mood, and I was gonna go get my hair cut and then go to the gym and have a nice evening. Tomorrow's Friday, so 2 more days until I get a little bit of rest. So I was in a pretty good mood. My symptoms were minimal to none today, while I was mostly sitting again in class, but still I was feeling okay, and that always makes me feel better. So, and then I got the bad news, and then I got really annoyed, and then I said, screw the haircut and screw the gym. I'm just gonna go home and get into bed and go to bed at like 6 or 7 o'clock, because I was just annoyed. Basically, I heard from somebody that's at work right now that they're trying to up our hours from 60 hours a week to 6/12s, which would be 72 hours. So I just was not happy. I already don't have enough time to do I just don't have time for anything. But anyways, I made it to the gym despite being very frustrated. I went to the gym, and this is day 4 in a row for me, and I switched back to doing weightlifting. I was getting bored of doing like the kettlebells and pull-ups and push-ups and stuff, so I went back to lifting weights. So anyways, I went to school, went to the gym, just left Walmart. I had to get some jelly. As far as my symptoms today in school go, they were much better comparatively to previous school days. I don't remember how my last one was. I'll have to rewatch my video. But a couple classes ago, so I guess that would be 3-4 weeks ago, I remember I was having a really rough time. Today was not bad, and even walking through the hallways, which normally makes me feel really weird, even if I feel normal sitting in class, I'll still get up and feel really out of it, and I'll get the extreme lightheadedness, sometimes to the point where I feel like I'm gonna pass out. And then I get scared that I'm gonna fall over, so I have to grab onto something, and then I just feel totally like floaty and out of my head. So I didn't feel that today when I was walking through the halls, so that was good. But I did just leave Walmart, and walking down the aisles and just walking in Walmart in general, I did feel very, I guess just lightheaded and uncomfortable. As far as the medication goes, my doctor said that I was allowed to drop my dose. A friend of mine has a friend who's a doctor or a nurse, and she was able to ask about some of my side effects and linked me a study about venlafaxine. And it was what would you call it? I'm blanking right now. A test study, sample study, I don't know, I can't think. But it was a case study, and it was on a patient, I think it said a young male patient or something, and taking, I think he said he was on 75 milligrams of venlafaxine. I think it was starting to help. Wow, is that bright? He was taking it for severe depression. But regardless, after he bumped it up to 150, he started getting something called paresthesis, I think, which is basically like a sensation of tingling, pins and needles, some numbness, usually in the limbs, and then can spread to other areas of your body, if not all over. And that's what I've been experiencing for, like, I don't know, sense of time is not very good, but 2 weeks maybe. Well, whenever I upped, it was whenever I upped my dose, like 4 or 5 days after I started experiencing that. So whenever that was, I'd say it's been a couple weeks. So yeah, that's been really frustrating, because not only did it, I went from 75 milligrams to 112 milligrams, and I thought that it was starting to help, and maybe it was, but when I upped the dose, I got no significant increase in reduction of symptoms. And it's hard for me to say, I don't know, because during that time that I upped the dose, I started getting this side effect, and I had a string of bad days, or even weeks. So it's not like it helped increasing the dose, at least not in the short term. But I really don't want to stick to this dose. I don't want to wait around feeling like my whole body is numb and tingly for any longer than I already have. So he said I could drop my dose, which I did yesterday. Well, I'm sorry. So first he told me I had my follow-up with Dr. Bay. And in the follow-up I talked about this tingling. I was hoping that I was going to report to him that things were getting much better and that I was ready to increase the dose. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I thought that was going to be the case because things seemed to be, over time getting a little bit better. But, so anyways, he told me to, I think I said this in my last video, the one I filmed on Monday, which I haven't uploaded yet. He said that he was going to, he took me off of the time released and put me on the regular tabs because, well, yeah, I said it in the last video. When I upped the dose, I also moved to this time release, and he thought, well, maybe it was just the time release. So he kept me on the same dose and took away the time release. And I don't know how, I think I was on that time release, off the time release dose for 5 days. And then I emailed him yesterday and I said, look, it's been 5 days. I've been off that dose. I'm still feeling all day this itchy, tingling sensation. I put lotion all over my body several nights in a row just to make sure that it wasn't like dry skin, because it is starting to get colder out. I do get dry skin in the winter. It happens every winter, but it was not that. It was happening all the time, every day, even with lotion all over me. So just yesterday, I lowered my dose from 112 milligrams to 75, which at 75, I don't recall experiencing any weird tingling or anything. So now I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't know. And I asked Dr. Bay, but he's obviously, I don't know how many patients he has, but he's very busy. So he didn't really respond to what the next step is. I don't know what the right move is. If it's to come off of this altogether and try a new one, or I just hate the idea of constantly stacking different antidepressants together, or any medications. Like, I just want either a silver bullet or two things that solve this for me. But right now I'm on nortriptyline antidepressant, venlafaxine antidepressant, gabapentin, which I've cut in half because of this reason, anti-seizure medication, propranolol, blood pressure, heart medication, and clonazepam, anti-anxiety medication, which is a benzodiazepine. So I don't know. Like, I experience this every day, and like, even myself, the person who experiences it, like, looking back since I started this medication, how much has it helped? 10%, 50%, 80%? Like, it's so hard to tell because I still have, like, most of my days I still have symptoms. Even if, like, most of the half of this day was fine, I could go in my kitchen and start tilting and rocking and bouncing all over my kitchen. So there's really doesn't appear to be a rhyme or reason. Or, like, just when I was in Walmart, I didn't go shopping, and all I got was jelly and a pack of protein chips, a bag of them. And so I only got 2 items, so I was only in there for like 10 minutes, and I'll just say that it wasn't a normal trip to Walmart like most people were experiencing. It's and it wasn't by any means like the end of the world. Like, it didn't ruin my day, but that's only because I'm so used to it, in a sick kind of way. because you don't really get used to it, but I guess it just stops. You stop having an emotional reaction to it, but it doesn't change the sensation. It doesn't stop the intensity. It's just that your reaction to it is changed. But I don't want to develop a tool for getting better at ignoring insane movements that are going on in my head. I already have so many things to worry about in my life. Like, I just don't want all of this extra baggage. And that's what I have. And so even though it even like I said, even though it doesn't really ruin my day, it's like I'm not going to chalk that up to another good day. I mean, I could be super positive and optimistic, but realistically, like, that's not my goal. My goal is not to be like a monk that just like zens out everything. I want to like be fixed. I don't want to have to constantly go around feeling these crazy things, and then just ignoring it. And because I can't ignore it for, like I said, you can't ignore it. It's not like someone chewing gum next to you and it's annoying you and you just try to ignore it. It's like literally you feel like your body's being tugged in all different directions while you're trying to just get some jelly from Walmart. It's not something you can ignore. It's happening to your person. But even though you can, let's say, walk into Walmart and get your couple of items, or even if I'm in there for an hour, I can go in there and walk around and nobody will have any clue that anything's wrong with me. I can hold a conversation with you. I can go through the checkout. I can talk to people. But if you were experiencing what I was experiencing, if you hadn't been experiencing this for 2 years, you would lose your mind and probably break down. Just to bring home, like, these are not small occurrences that I'm talking about, that I'm blowing off, if that makes any sense. I think that because I've gotten so accustomed to living my life with this, I get the feeling that people take it less seriously than it is. Like, people think that whatever you're going through must not be that serious because I've gotten so good at hiding it, I suppose. So yeah, to come full circle, I don't want to live the rest of my life with masking it and pretending like it's not there, and hiding it from everyone. I just want it to not be there. So it's hard for me to judge when I look back on the past, like, let's say, well, however long I've been on the venlafaxine, couple months, let's say 3 months, however long it's been. It's hard for me to look back over these 3 months and say, objectively, I'm 50% better. The only thing I can definitively say is that I'm better now than I was the first year. Certainly the first 6 months. And I would probably also say certainly the first year. From the year to now, It's hard to say. I can't remember. I can't remember, and the symptoms are so asymmetrical. Like, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio with anything. It's not, if you do this, this is going to happen. If you do this way, this will happen. There's only a slight number of things that are close to being constant. And even then, it's not always. Like the example when I got really excited because I was working in that Connex for like 3 hours and I had no symptoms. And I was like, is this it? Is it gone? Like, did everything just change for me because of the venlafaxine? Like, am I cured? And then the next day it was just like everything went to shit again. So it's just incredibly difficult to look back. It's not like, because it's all subjective, right? There's no standard. There is, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting better or not. Like right now I feel really, and also when I was in Walmart, I felt that, that sensation of being like someone poured a pot of coffee down my throat and it just hit me like all at once. And again, to reiterate, it's not like anxiety. It's not like anxiety hit me all of a sudden. It was like I became really aware of everything around me, like a spidey sense. And just this really uncomfortable feeling of awareness and energy, even though I don't consume caffeine during the week. And I would say about half of the time that coincides with my feelings of lightheadedness. And that can coincide with me standing up or not. I could just be walking for several minutes and I get lightheaded out of nowhere. Or I could stand up and then get lightheaded, and as I'm walking it continues. So there's no consistency with any of this. It seems like my brain is just on this arbitrary path of destruction and I cannot get a hold of it. But that'll be it for today. I just wanted to make a video because I have made it a habit of doing every other Thursday videos when I have school. So here it is. Hope y'all are doing well. If not, keep trying stuff. If you're not thriving, keep trying, because that's what I'm doing. I'm not thriving yet, so I'm still trying. But anyways, till the next time, stay safe. We'll see you on the next one.